Welcome to the Monarch Group Podcast. Today's guest is Hunter, sales consultant with D.R. Horton, one of the largest and most trusted home builders in the country. Hunter helps guide buyers through the new construction process. Welcome to the podcast. Glad you're here. We'd love to talk about D.R. Horton, your background. So if you want to jumpstart in and just let us know about how you got into it and what's D.R. Horton all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for having me here. So it's kind of funny how I got into real estate and new construction. I was in the lab originally. I did lab work in the hospital, U of L. It was very dreary. You know, my day-to-day was sick patients, sad families, no natural light. So I just thought back to a time where I was super happy. You know, when I bought my first house, it was such a good experience that the thought of being able to help people with that was 10 out of 10 for me. So that's how I ended up getting into real estate. And then new construction, just like seeing somebody see something from the ground to, you know, a home and picturing theirself there is so special.
Wow, that's great. I did not anticipate that background there. That's a good swap.
Yeah.
It's still helping people just in a very different scenario. Now, how big is D.R. Horton?
We are America's largest builder. So we have been the largest. We've been around since 1978, but we have been America's top and largest builder since 2002.
Wow, that's a good record to have. And
Yeah.
what's your role with D.R. Horton?
So I am a new home sales consultant. So I basically can assist out of any of our communities. We have communities in Louisville, Southern Indiana, Shelbyville, Elizabethtown, and I help clients find the right home for them. And then I also help them, you know, from the beginning to the very end and then even after. So I'm just here to guide them to their homeowner dreams.
Okay, that's a lot of communities so you're like expert in all of those communities, or do you focus on one of them?
I focus on our Louisville Cedarbrook location. It's off of Beulah Church Road, right off of Cooper Chapel.
Okay, but if someone did want to work with you, they could in any of those locations?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to.
Okay, nice. And what with D.R. Horton's done the most homes in America, what sets them apart? How do they build the most homes?
Yeah, so a really special thing about D.R. Horton is our included features are grand compared to what other builders would use as upgrades. So you are getting a great house for a great price and with finishes like 9-foot ceilings, quartz countertops, tile primary showers. It's just really elevated from your typical spec builder standard package.
And what are the prices typically running in this area?
Our median price is probably about $300,000.
Okay, that's a good price point. That
Right.
attracts a lot of different people. And then how high can it go up to? Because I know like different additions and different like upgrades, that price will go up, correct?
Yeah, 100%. So we do basements as well. So a bigger house, probably like over 26 to 2,900 square feet, is going to run around with a walkout basement is going to run upwards of like 400,000.
That's still a great price in Louisville, though. I mean, it's tough to
Yeah.
find like an existing home for that price in the Louisville area with that price point. And how does the buying process work? So let's say a buyer comes to you and they're like, hey, I want to have a new build. What's that process from when they meet you to sign the papers, closing on the house?
Yeah, 100%. Well, it always starts with a conversation. The first thing I want to know is, you know, what fits their needs, what their time frame is, what their ideal situation would be. And then after that, we lock them down on a house that they absolutely love. And D.R. Horton pretty much handles the rest. The cool thing about us is we're kind of a one-stop shop. So you have us, you have the mortgage company, we have a insurance company as well. So we handle everything from the weekly updates, the loan updates, just the whole process. We take care of it.
Okay, and do the buyers, are they involved in the building process as well as far as like those updates, like keeping an eye on what's going on?
Absolutely. I do weekly updates to every single buyer
Okay, do they come to the site as well and look and see what's going on?
whenever they would like.
Okay, and those companies that you have, do buyers have to use your insurance? They have to use your mortgage?
No, they can bring their own if they wish to. We do offer really good incentives with using our mortgage company. However, you're free to use whoever you're most comfortable with.
Okay, and what are those incentives?
Yeah, so we actually do a builder forward commitment, and that is where we are able to offer a way lower than market rate interest rate and it is typically saving buyers about $300 to $400 monthly on the payment. We also do closing cost assistance. Sometimes we'll throw in special promotions like a washer and dryer, a fridge. So we have all kinds of different things and incentives that we use for buyers with who are interested in it.
What sort of rates are you all offering at the moment?
Right now we are doing a $499 30-year fixed FHA.
That's incredible. Considering that the mortgage rates are above 6 right now,
Yeah.
that's a big savings amount right there, which I know can go a long way for people at the moment in the market.
Absolutely.
And then let's say someone is buying a house through D.R. Horton. How much can they affect what is like the finishes and the updates and the upgrades, and how much involvement can they have in that, or is it pretty set?
Well, so at our core, we are a spec builder. We like to have a lot of move-in inventory available. However, we do offer new builds. So where you go and you pick your lot, you can pick your colors. We do use packages, and they are very thoughtfully designed to be timeless and modern. So that way, all of our houses, you're going to love what's in them. They're going to have the nice modern color packages. However, we do give you the option to say, hey, maybe you want a gray cabinet. Maybe you want a more brown color. So we do let people customize, especially if it's from a ground up build.
What sort of trends are you seeing at the moment that people are picking?
I've actually done a lot of ground up sales recently, but it really depends on the buyer and their specific situation.
Okay. Any like trends as far as design style that you're kind of surprised at the moment, or is you seen a bunch of different ones?
I mean, I would say everybody is still loving just the white cabinets, the modern, very open concept. I'm seeing a lot of people loving the white siding along with like maybe a darker color trim, so that's really cool.
Okay,
to
yeah,
see.
I'm seeing some of those like accent pieces. And I'm seeing a lot. Are you seeing any greens? Because I know a lot of people are talking like the sage greens are coming back and starting to like those.
We do have an option for it's like a tree moss green. Some people love it, and some people are just not very interested in it at all.
Yeah,
So.
I think you've got those early adopters, and I think eventually it will come around that more people will see the appeal of it. I'm a big fan of it. The ones that I've seen in rooms where it's like one wall is painted that green as like an accent wall, which is pretty nice. You'd mentioned on inventory a second ago. How much inventory is D.R. Horton having at the moment?
The thing about D.R. Horton is we kind of change with the market. So we always are going to have stuff that's move-in ready. We're going to have stuff we kind of have stuff in all stages. And then also for people who have a longer time frame, we have, a ground up build. So it just depends on what the client's looking for. We do keep a very steady inventory.
Okay, so you're trying not to have too much that's just sitting there and not enough that you can't meet demand. It's that sweet spot of making sure there's something for anyone, whoever's looking.
Absolutely.
And then how long are the brand new builds taking right now?
So we are 120 days, give or take 30, which is very... It's a good timeline to be at because some of the other builders in the area, you're looking at 9 to 12 months. The good thing about D.R. Horton is we use all local trades with each division, in our market, and we only build a certain amount of floor plans, so they get very, very familiar with what we're doing. So it's able to keep our process simple, easy, and time effective.
Got it. And then what would you say, so someone who is sort of on the fence between the two, whether it be new construction or an older home, what would you say the advantages for a new construction over an existing home?
I mean, I would say peace of mind. I originally before I worked at D.R. Horton, before I worked in new construction, I bought a used home. And unfortunately, right after I moved in, my HVAC went out completely. So without having a warranty, without knowing what to do, having someone to call, I was left with a pretty big bill that will never happen in new construction. You always will have warranties, and you're always going to have the most efficient and up-to-code building practices. So
nice. And so everything's new in there. So new HVAC, new water heater. What appliances come with a D.R. Horton home?
Yeah, so in a D.R. Horton home, you are going to get your dishwasher, and then you're going to get your stove and your microwave.
Okay, so it's just the fridge that you all don't provide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's still good amount of appliances
absolutely.
though. And then you mentioned a little bit on warranties. Could you dive into that a little bit more about what that entails and what it means for a buyer?
Yeah, so D.R. Horton has your 1 year workmanship warranty for like paint, drywall touch ups, bumper to bumper stuff. Then we have a 2 year mechanical for your HVAC, your electrical, your plumbing. And then we have a 10 year structural warranty for your foundation. And that is, transferable. So if you move in 5 years, your new buyer is going to get the life of that. We also, all of our appliances are going to have 1 year manufacturer warranties as well.
Wow, and that really gives buyers peace of mind. Like you said, it's just going in knowing that you don't have to worry about anything. And if there is something that comes up, which there always is because it's a home and, things happen, that D.R. Horton's going to come in and take care of it and fix it.
100%.
And then just had another question, which is gone from my mind. Oh, inspections, that's what I was going to ask for. So a lot of people think because it's a new construction home that you can't have a home inspection on there. D.R. Horton allowing inspections?
Absolutely. And I always recommend you to get your own inspector.
And then if someone does have an inspection, comes up with a list of items, in a resale house, you have to negotiate repairs. How does that work with D.R. Horton then?
Yeah, so we are going to fix anything that is not up to current building codes or up to our quality assurance policy. So we will make sure that you are getting a home that is safe and sound for you to be into.
Okay, and then they can have it re-inspected to make sure those things are taken care of as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, well that's definitely put some ease there that it is 100% solid home of what you're moving into.
Yeah.
What are I know you've probably had a lot of these conversations with people. What are misconceptions that people have going from like a new build home over like an existing home?
I would say the biggest misconception about new construction is that it is unaffordable. There are so many different things that we are doing in today's market that make it almost, if not as more affordable than buying used. You're getting your warranties, you're getting special rates, you are getting a house that is only going to build you equity over time. So I would say affordability is probably the biggest misconception about new construction.
Okay. And one thing that you mentioned, which we didn't talk about earlier, was the closing costs. What sort of closing cost package are you offering?
So standardly we do $3,500, but it's case by case. If we have a client who maybe needs a little more help, we're always going to be understanding and try to provide what they need.
Got it. And that just all goes from their financial background, obviously running through the process with the mortgage people, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then for people who maybe I know you talked about it a little bit, for people who are wanting to buy a new home but thinking this is going to take too long, how do you ease their mind on that?
If we have something that they love that is move-in ready, that's great. But if not, it is such a easy process. 120 days, and sometimes it could be sooner than that. So we are able to kind of simplify the build process. When people think new construction, they think 9 to 12 months. They don't think, 120 days. So it's something that we just have to, especially being D.R. Horton being this kind of builder, just familiarize people with.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that some people come in and there's already homes that are sort of already started to be under construction that they can then buy. It could have been a longer process, but they already skipped the first few months of the building process. Now they're coming in at the tail end of it when it's almost done, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, well that's good to know. I mean, it's for some people, they are on tight schedules and they do want a nicer, newer home, but they worry about that. And because is there a section on your website which has like a list of inventory of what you've got right now?
Yes.
Okay, what would you say is like some hot stuff that you've got out there right now?
I would say anything in Cedar Brook.
Anything in Cedar Brook. What are the typical homes that the floor plans in there?
So we have ranch homes and 2 stories. So we have a little bit of something for everyone. We also have basement lots as well.
Okay. And how many bedrooms are in those?
We have some as small as 3 bedrooms and some as big as 5.
Okay. And the square footage size?
We go from $1,498 all the way up to $2,900.
Okay. That's a bit. That's nice.
Yeah.
There's a nice home.
Nice range.
How many homes are in that community?
Right now, I would say we have about 35 lots available.
Okay. And how many total though as well?
I would have to check on that.
Okay. And there's a big community though, right?
Yeah, it is. We actually completed the first section, and then the second section we're now starting.
Okay. And do D.R. Horton homes and communities, do they have HOA fees?
Yes, we do have HOA fees. It really depends on the community. For Cedar Brook, it's $275 yearly.
Okay, and what does that cover, or what are the typical HOA cover in a D.R. Horton community?
Yeah, so that's going to cover like your in-the-ground street lights, any kind of retention, your front monument when you come in. Some communities do cover snow removal and any kind of common area.
Okay, nice. So just those typical areas that you'd expect in a HOA.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if someone's thinking about getting into a new construction home, they're really looking forward to it, but they're not quite ready yet, thinking 2026, what would you say is your advice to them to get prepared or to get started on that path?
I would say do what you feel comfortable with. The best time to buy a house is when you are financially fit to buy a house and you are comfortable. There is a cost associated with waiting, as we all know, but if you are ready to make the move, why not go ahead and get in now and start building your equity? But it's such a personal journey for people. You have to wait until you're ready.
Yeah, no, I think that's great advice. I had a financial advisor on not too long ago, and that was something that we were talking about. You know, people always say talking about the rates right now, and it's, you know, not necessarily about the rates, it's about what can you afford.
Yeah.
And then do you go through that process with them about what they can afford, or is that something that you do, or is it more of they need to do that and then come to you once they realize where they can afford?
So my favorite thing to ask people is, what is your ideal monthly payment? Because I don't want to get them into a house that they absolutely love, and then that's, $500 more than they were wanting to spend a month, because your budget is so important. So it really depends on the client, what they're looking for, and I do run numbers with them.
Okay, that's a good process. I think that's really important rather than just trying to get people into a house.
Yeah.
You've got to make sure. We never want people to be house poor. I mean, we said that on our
Right.
side as well. So you want people to be happy and
Yeah.
comfortable in the house. Now, do you live in Louisville or Indiana?
I live in Louisville.
Okay, so I always have to ask this question when people come on is, what is your go-to spot for a restaurant or food in Louisville?
Oh my gosh, that's probably Hot Pot, like right
Hot
over
Pot?
here.
Which one's Hot Pot? I don't know
It's
that one.
right off. It's probably like 2 minutes down the street.
Okay,
it's-
what do they have there? What
It
kind of
is
food
like
is it?
you cook your own food. It's like Korean barbecue with like ramen and stuff. It's so good.
Okay, is it more of is it like a sit-down restaurant, or is it more casual sort of a...
It's more of a sit down. You get like a 2-hour time period. It's
Wow.
so fun.
Okay,
It's so good.
There's one like that just down from here as well, which is something. It's one of those similar things, the melting pot.
The
You know that
melting
one?
pot. Yeah, yes.
Okay,
Those are so. I've never been. I want to go.
Okay, so it's the same
Yeah, it's
thing,
the
but
same
with Korean
concept.
barbecue.
Yes,
Okay, all right.
yes.
I'm gonna have to add to that. Yeah, see, that's one of my great questions, because there's so many places in Louisville you just never, you never run out of places to go to.
Absolutely.
What do you love about working in this Louisville area?
I'm born and raised in Louisville, so I have been here for all my whole life, and I just think it's amazing. We have we have good people. The area is so nice. You can get anywhere in the whole city in 20 minutes. And you just have, it's a very special place, Louisville is. And
Yeah.
I love helping everyone who lives here.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's a melting pot of different people and different
Yeah.
backgrounds, and it's such a fantastic place to live and to work. A lot of D.R. Horton's homes are kind of towards the outskirts of Louisville, though, correct?
Yes, we are kind of like, we sit a little bit right outside of the Gene Snyder. That is changing, so, be on the lookout, because we have some amazing stuff coming up.
Are you allowed to share any of it, or is it all behind?
I think that's top secret for now,
You
but
know-
stay tuned.
Okay, how long do we have to wait for that?
Give us until the summer.
Until the summer. Okay, maybe we'll have to have you back in the summer so we can
I'd
talk about
love
all
to
about that
come
new
back,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
that's wow, so I'm anticipating something inside the 264 then. Okay, I can start to, my mind's starting to work on
Yeah.
where some places are.
Call me.
Yeah. Which it's tough though. I mean, I get it, because Louisville's such a compact place and there's not much available lots in the
Right.
Louisville area, so you have to go to those outskirts. So I have had some conversation with people who are looking for a new build, and it's that's one of the trade-offs is location. But
Yeah.
from I've been on the D.R. Horton map and seen where they're all at, and they're typically located close to like major roadways where you could easily
Absolutely.
get to a place. So if someone is looking to buy a brand new home through you, what's the best way to get hold of you?
Yeah, so the best way to get a hold of me is my phone number. It's 502-930-4357, or you can find me on Facebook, Hunter Fluhr, or you can come into the D.R. Horton Cedarbrook model, and I am pretty much there.
Okay, and then also your website as well, which we'll link in the description.
Yes.
So before you head off, is there any last bit of information you want to share with the people who are watching about new builds?
Yeah, I do have one thing I would like to share. We have a home buyers club program. That is where maybe a client is a little bit credit challenged. They still really want to buy a house. We can enroll them into this program and have a specialist take a look at their credit and tell them what they need to do to get up to the credit score to be able to buy. And it has helped so many people. We have so many homeowners who come to us, they're not able to qualify. We get them in this program for as little as 4 months, and then they can buy a house. It's amazing.
That's a great service to have. So really what people need to be doing is, who maybe have the income but don't have the credit, they should speak to you now in preparation for when those summer lots release, whatever that secret is, and then they'll be ready to go. So you can get the financing, the credit repair, the insurance. I mean, like you said, it's a one-stop shop for everyone, that whatever they need is under that one roof.
100%. And it's so helpful to buyers. Another thing I would just like to quickly touch on is that with our rates, we can take a buyer who is qualified at maybe 275 and then get them up to a 330. So you get a lot more bang for your buck, and you're building that equity almost instantly when you come to D.R. Horton and look at our stuff and then move forward and do the special interest rates and the things that we offer.
That is at that price point. That's a big difference. The amount of home that you can get for those
absolutely.
price points, and in Louisville at 270, what you can get is very different from what you could get with a new build at that price. So I'm glad you added that little bit of information there. Well, I wanted to thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your information. And if anyone out there, definitely recommend you reach out to Hunter if you're looking for a new build.
Thank you.
And appreciate you coming on. And I'll definitely, when those summer releases drop, we'll have a little special episode for that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. So to all of you out there watching, thank you, and we'll see you on the next episode.